Well, we're going to start off today with Crypto Potato. Wonderful source. Let's go ahead and get into it. Polygon Matic integrates its blockchain datasets into Google BigQuery. Yay! Polygon has integrated its blockchain datasets into Google's BigQuery to provide accurate on-chain data for the protocol. Polygon, the Ethereum Layer 2 solution formerly known as Matic Network, announced today its blockchain datasets will be integrated on the Google Cloud. Polygon coming to Google Cloud. The initiative aims to provide developers, data analysts, and crypto enthusiasts with a better understanding of the Polygon blockchain. Google's BigQuery would ensure that query and in-depth analysis of Polygon's on-chain data are conducted in a simple and organized manner using the Google Cloud platform. The latter is a suite of cloud computing services that runs the same infrastructure that Google uses internally for its end-user products like Gmail, Google Search, etc. Google BigQuery, on the other hand, is a serverless, highly scalable data warehouse hosted by Google Cloud. With Polygon's dataset now listed in the Google Cloud Marketplace, it unlocks new possibilities which include monitoring of Polygon's gas fees over time, monitoring smart contract calls and activities, multi-chain analysis for SDKs like the Polygon SDK, integration with traditional financial record processing systems, determining the most active tokens, contracts, and dApps on Polygon, and audit trailing. DLT Analytics Challenge. As part of the above, Google Cloud and Polygon, alongside 1729 by blockchain leader Balaji S. I'm sorry if I massacred that name, I'm horrible with names. Are hosting a DLT Analytics Challenge to exhibit Polygon's utility with up to 20,000 in prizes for top submissions. Now that's interesting. This will be a major step towards analyzing and gaining insights from the 6 million transactions a day that take place on the Polygon, and will go a long way towards growing and building the Polygon and Ethereum ecosystems, the release reads. Earlier this week, Polygon released the first version of its SDK network to allow developers to deploy ETH-compatible chains using the Ethereum virtual machine. The launch marks the start of Ethereum transition into a multi-chain ecosystem. All right, and that is end of line right there. It is by Mandy Williams. If you get a chance, check out the link below, click it, go read it yourself, give Mandy a little love for her wonderful article here. Now, my observations, things that I wonder about. Something bothers me about this. Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, really in general, sort of started, I think it was back in 2008, 2009, somewhere in that area, basically because of the last big sort of problem we had with the American economy, which was the derivatives market, the big banking systems, and the bailouts that occur to bail out the banks that made horrible decisions in making derivatives in the housing market, which caused the housing market to crash, which caused the government to give lots and lots of money to the banks. So basically we rewarded the people, well, maybe reward is the wrong word, but it kind of felt like that's what they were doing. Rewarding bad behavior in the stock market and in the financial derivatives market. And, you know, as soon as they were done with that and it kind of cooled down, they went right back into derivatives in the housing market. So if you think that that problem isn't looming out there, you're kidding yourself. The big problem I have with that is that basically cryptocurrency, it wanted limited amounts of money and it wanted to be decentralized. It wanted out of a big a government control or controlled by a big institution. Well, if you're going along the lines and using the Google Cloud platform, that to me is a big step in the wrong direction. Basically, you're centralizing a lot of stuff to run on the Google Cloud. Well, you know, what happens, you know, Google is not a good company, right? The "Don't Be Evil" tagline has been dropped a long time ago, and even when it had it, it was wrong. Google can be a fairly evil company. Now, granted, I'm giving you this message on YouTube, but I also use alternative methods on other platforms and hoping eventually to get away from YouTube altogether, unless, of course, Google and YouTube sort of change their ways. Because Google's known for censorship. Well, would you really want that kind of a company to be where your information is stored? Um, I don't know. Now, maybe I'm reading in this way too much, and it really, um, the chain being on the Google cloud platform isn't that big a deal because you do have, the ledger, right? The ledger is out there, and it is, the ledger. There's many, many copies of the ledger on many, many places. But if a lot of people trust the Google Cloud, and Google Cloud all of a sudden one day says, you know what? The government doesn't really like cryptocurrency. They said, well, let's not talk about cryptocurrency, so let's just go ahead and get rid of all that data. And then overnight, you're going to have a major problem. I mean, it's not like Google doesn't help the Chinese government censor things, right? So if the US government stepped in and said, you know what, we think we're going to ban cryptocurrency, or every cryptocurrency except for our cryptocurrency, uh, I can see where this could lead into a lot of big problems down the line. Now, maybe I'm wrong, and maybe people will be upset with me for saying that, because you know what? In order to gain a lot of widespread adoption, you are going to be looking into the big data. You're going to be looking into big data. You're going to be looking into the big financial institutions. You're going to be looking into the centralized stuff, right? Because most people, there are, libertarians and people that still believe in the message of that decentralized platforms and economic systems, economic ecosystems, really, that we can use to kind of get away from that central control. Um, but I don't know that this is taking a step in that right direction. I really don't. And it worries me a little bit. I mean, cryptocurrency in general, there are some things that worry me. Do I think it's the next best thing? Yes. Do I think it's the next internet? Yes. Do I think that it's the way we're going to do things in the future? Yes. Do I think that there are cryptocurrencies out there now that are going to be the next Amazon, the next Google, the next all of these things, but without the central control? Yes. I think it's going to change our lives on a fundamental level. However, it does scare me a little bit that they're sort of getting into bed with Google right now. I do, complete transparency, I do own some Polygon, and I am thinking about selling it because of this article. And then there's part of me that says, I really don't want to, because this is what's going to happen. Widespread adoption is going to come with these sorts of speed bumps, and as much as I would like this to be put on something else, I mean, there are plenty of companies, cryptocurrency companies out there, and coins that are doing almost the same thing as this, right? They're almost doing the same thing as the Google Cloud. There's plenty of cloud information technology in the crypto space right now. And I would have much rather that they went with one of them. Now, do I understand why they might go with Google instead of one of them? Yes, because the technology is new in a lot of these areas, whereas Google is established. Google Cloud is established. And it would, the push in the crypto market to be more widespread adopted amongst bigger players like banks, ETFs, hedge fund managers, things like that, that's going to cause a lot of speed bumps in the cryptocurrency world, because basically they're trying to merge with exactly why cryptocurrency was created in the first place, to get rid of, if that makes sense. I hope it does. But essentially, cryptocurrency was started because they didn't trust the Goldman Sachs. They didn't trust the big banks. They didn't trust the big data companies. But now we're all getting in bed with them. So it does perturb me a little bit. It does make me a little upset. But it's just one of those things. Life is what it is, and I'm going to sit. I'm going to watch it. I may or may not get rid of the Polygon. I haven't decided yet. We'll see. But anyway, I would really like to know what it is that you think. Maybe I'm just blowing this way out of proportion. Maybe I'm an idiot. Maybe the big adoption makes it okay in some way. It just, I don't know, it makes my teeth itch. It makes my soul itch. You know what I mean? It kind of goes against what it felt like cryptocurrency was in the beginning. And if Polygon's making this move, there's nothing going to stop other companies from making similar moves. Now, hopefully, they go onto Google Cloud and everything's fine. The government doesn't do anything bad, or Google doesn't do anything evil. I just don't really trust that. But on the other hand, a lot of people are making a lot of money on Polygon. Polygon is, I think, an up and coming cryptocurrency, and it'll be hard to let go of it. I'm gonna have to think about that real hard. Anyway, I mean, just because that's something that I'm going to do or something that bothers me doesn't necessarily mean it's going to bother you. But it is a top news story. It will affect things. So I wanted to bring it to you and see what you thought about it.